I'm Yuko, 32 years old. I got married to my colleague Tatsuya 6 months ago, but I already regret it. It's because of our relationship with his family.
The other day, my mom called me to celebrate because she won 3rd place in a karaoke contest.
What again?
Don't say that. It's a celebration. Let's go!
You say so, but you do something like that every month, right? Plus, it's funny that she's asking us to celebrate her. If you insist, why don't you just go?
It doesn't work like that. My dad told me to bring you two.
Why do I have to go?
Because you're my wife.
Just because I'm your wife?
I can't do that.
Why don't you just ignore him? Then let me tell you. Your attitude is also the reason why I don't want to go there, though. Do you understand me? I don't get along with his parents at all, but I didn't hate them from the beginning. When I first got married, I did try my best to try to get them to like me, but they even hated me before we were married. That was when we went to tell them that we would get married. Nice to meet you. I'm Yuko. I have been in a relationship with him. I'm glad to see you guys.
I've heard about you from my son. You don't have to be so nervous. Just relax.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to be a family. There's no need to be so formal. They welcomed me kindly, and we had a friendly conversation. But as soon as I told them about my background, their attitude changed. What? Did I say something wrong? They asked me about my education and my job, and I just told them honestly. I told them that I grew up in a relatively wealthy family with a father who worked for a big company, and I had taken many kinds of lessons from childhood, including piano, koto, aikido, and English conversation, and that I had worked part-time to earn my living expenses so that I would not have to rely on my parents as much as possible during my college years. Did I say something wrong? How dare you brag so much about yourself, even though you are a woman? What?
Tetsuya, women like her. You have to educate well. If you don't discipline her well, she'll start complaining about this and that after you get married.
What? What do you mean by discipline me? You know, you may not know this because you've lived abroad for so long, but a Japanese woman has to be modest. It's embarrassing to brag about your background like you do. You should be careful. I mean, I don't mean to brag about it. Even if you don't mean to, it just looks like it. Actually, you see, Tatsuya can't say anything now. Okay. Since we got married, I've been called to their house frequently, and they treat me like a slave. I'm forced to cook their meals, and when I'm done, I'm forced to work without a break, cleaning the bathtub, weeding the garden. Besides, if they don't like it in the slightest, they immediately abuse me. You're a useless wife when you can't even do the housework. You don't deserve my son. My husband is usually kind and does the housework, but in front of them, he suddenly pretends to be the husband of the house and becomes a big man.
Hey, Yuko, where is the tea?
What?
You gotta do this before I say.
I don't like his attitude, but I have tried to be a good wife to my husband. Then...
Anyway, let's at least go and celebrate for the karaoke competition. I'll be careful this time so they don't act like jerks to you.
Then tell me exactly what you're going to do.
I'm going to do my best in my own way. I won't act like a big man.
That's it?
Of course not. I'll do the housework for you.
It's not enough to just say it. Can you really do that?
I'm telling you, I'm going to do my best. Trust me.
You said that before, but nothing has changed.
I've been through a lot too. I show that attitude for you.
What? For me?
I'd rather be the first to say it than have my dad tell you harshly. If I do that, they'll be quiet a little bit.
That's for your own sake, after all, right? You're only doing it because you don't want to upset him. And if you say it's for my sake, instead of acting like that, why don't you just stand up for me?
But my dad...
See? I mean, how old are you? How long are you going to obey your parents?
I'm sorry. I'll keep my promise this time.
All right. Then I'll give you one last chance.
What? What do you mean, last chance?
Actually, yesterday I called my parents. So far, I've tried to keep quiet so that I wouldn't worry you, but I've reached my limit. I told my parents all about how I was being treated by your family. Then my mom was crying. Dad was extremely angry. He said, "What do you think you're doing with our precious daughter?"
Ugh.
So I decided, I don't want to make my parents sad anymore. I don't want to be patient anymore either. I'm at my limit. I will not tolerate anymore. Next time I'll say what I have to say too.
All right, I'll tell my mom.
Are you sure? If you break your promise, I'll have to. I was already thinking about divorce at this point. I have been frustrated with his attitude and have warned him about it many times. But each time he made excuses, nothing changed. And most of all, remembering the faces of my friends who celebrated me when we had our wedding ceremony, I couldn't divorce him. If he doesn't change, there is no point in me putting up with him at all. If he changes his attitude tomorrow, we will continue our marriage as before. But if he doesn't change, then we visited his parents. Then get dinner ready as soon as possible. The ingredients are in the fridge. Are you saying I need to prepare the meal? Of course! You are a wife. But you don't have to cook for yours. Because you have so many other things to do, you don't have time to eat. As I expected, nothing has changed. He said he would tell his parents to change their attitude, but I guess he didn't talk to them after all. I took a slow, deep breath and was going to tell her, but...
Mom, I'll cook today. I let Yuko rest.
Surprisingly, he said that. What? What are you talking about? Why are you cooking?
She always cooks for me, so I thought I'd do it for her once in a while.
Don't be ridiculous. You're a man, okay? Men aren't supposed to cook. Yuko, what are you doing? You didn't do it quickly enough, so he had to be worried about you. Don't you understand that I always say that's what's bad about you? You're not a good wife if you make him worry about you.
No, she's always good to me, and I thought it's my turn to take care of her.
What? Why do you have to take care of her? She's not very attentive, and she's always defiant. See? I've said all this, and she still won't do anything about it. Besides, Dad would get mad at me if I let you cook.
But...
I get it. Yuko, you're making him say this. What a horrible woman to make him say it just because you don't want to do it yourself.
What's going on?
Dad, hear me out. Yuko is trying to get Tatsuya to do the housework just because she doesn't want to do it. And because she is afraid to say that herself, she makes Tatsuya say it. Please do something about it.
What? Is that true, Tatsuya?
That's...
I've told you before that women like her, if you spoil them, they will take advantage of you. So you have to discipline well.
Dad, you should be scolding Yuko, not Tatsuya. Tatsuya was just too kind to refuse Yuko.
What? If you have something to say, why don't you say it out loud? You know what? I hate your attitude. I'm talking about how you look at me. You must be making fun of us.
Yeah, I do.
What?
He looked at me in surprise, and I glared at him as hard as I could. I was running out of patience. You don't do anything yourself, but you just keep acting bossy and yelling at me. Your idea is out of date. I'm thinking you guys are just stupid people stuck in your old values.
What? Say that again.
Do you think you can freak me out by yelling at me like that? If you think you can get anything you want by being aggressive, you're wrong. Hey, Yuko! How can you talk to him like that? Apologize to him. No. In the first place, you listen to him and do whatever he says, and that makes him take advantage of you, right? And I know why you guys hit me so hard. You guys don't like my background, right? You're just jealous. Because I'm well educated and have a wealthy family.
Shut up! Ouch! Ouch! Get off of me!
Dad! I've been doing Aikido since I was a little girl. I told you before, right?
Ouch! I'm against violence. Are you enjoying hurting old men like me?
You are the one who tried to hit me! You really are a weak and pathetic person to play the victim as soon as you feel you can't compete.
Okay. Let go of me.
I'll let you go, but the next time you yell at me or try to be violent, I'll show you no mercy.
Ugh. Okay.
Yuko!
Tatsuya, I told you it was your last chance. But you didn't even tell them, right? What do you mean? See? Well, I don't care about that anymore. You and I are getting a divorce.
Hey, wait! You're right, I didn't talk about it, but I did my best in my own way too. I was really going to do the cooking today.
You don't understand anything after all. It's not that I didn't want to cook. I've said it many times, I couldn't stand to be treated unreasonably just because I was your wife. You should know that.
Ugh.
Even when I almost got hit, you just stood there, right? You are selfish after all. How could I possibly have a future with someone like that? I mean, it's a waste of my time. Bye. Wait, we haven't finished talking yet. You're his wife. Why are you leaving? I'm divorcing him, so I'm not his wife anymore. Do whatever you want. Oh, and Tatsuya, one thing. Don't call me by my name so casually at the office. Because I'm your supervisor, you should talk to me politely.
What? You're his supervisor?
I kept my mouth shut to your save face. I'm telling you everything at this point, but I'm the general manager and he's a regular employee. I'm in a much higher position in the company than you are.
What? Are you kidding me? You're a man and you work for a woman? What a pathetic man.
See? I knew he would say that, so I kept my mouth shut for you. For you, men are superior to women, right? But you know, those values are no longer accepted. It doesn't matter at work.
Ugh.
So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I said that and I left the house. It was so refreshing. I thought I might have said a little too much, but I had been treated like a slave for the past 6 months, so it wouldn't have mattered. Then I went back to my parents' house and asked my lawyer for a divorce. And they said they were going to sue me for alimony. But when I replied that I was going to sue them for all the harassment, they apologized to me. I was disgusted to see them. How they come on hard when they have the upper hand. But as soon as they had a disadvantage, they pretend like victims. Then I divorced my husband. At the office, we became just boss and subordinate. But I told my colleagues at work why I was divorcing him. And he got hate from everyone in the company. Until then, I had given him special treatment because he was my husband. But that was no longer the case. Since my company has a lot of women, my husband got many enemies. It's like lying on a bed of nails. He became so frustrated that he started missing work without permission, and was eventually fired. After that, I was confessed by a man I work with, and we're dating on the premise of marriage. Of course, I told him I have divorced. His parents are very kind and adore me. I hope we can build a happy family this time.